late. I'm a bit late. Always applying cream on my hands when I'm here. How are we doing? How are we doing? Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming. Very much appreciate it. Thank you for giving me your time. I appreciate it. Right. It's a Monday and I've decided to name our Monday. So we come here every week. We've been coming here for the last year and a bit now. I hope you guys come with a note, book, pen and paper, whatever. Take some notes because it's important for a person who's taking notes. You tend to accumulate more of what you're listening to. So it's really, really, really important to take notes. It's something that I've been told. And since then, I've been applying it for me to like really use it. Can everybody see me? Yeah. Let me just move this. You're not falling. So anyway, my setting, it's a bit weird. Not to worry. It's just because of where I am. Things are not as I would want them to be. Anyway, how was everybody's weekend? How was everybody's weekend? How are we doing on growth? How are we doing mentally? Because as people, we get tested every day. Like every day. Something happens. Something gets in your way. Somebody does something to you. Or you just get upset because you are running in your own mind. Your mind is doing this, talking, and not shutting up. So you don't know when to shut your own mind because it tends to go back in things that you know from like what happened a while ago, a few years ago. You just rehash that and you live in that. Sorry, my voice sounds a bit funny because I've got a bit of a cold. I don't know why or how I got it. I've got no idea. But it's here and it's a little bit annoying. But as I've been out running today and I'm like, no, I'm going to put myself to a test. I'll go and run. And then I came back. It wasn't a very long run because it's a new area. So I was just testing and I needed to get ready for tonight. But anyway, it's all good. I had a wonderful weekend except from last night. That's when the cold decided to creep in on me. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you all. So I decided I'm testing the water. I want your feedback from you guys. Tell me what you guys think, because on this platform, when I'm here, I try to talk to you guys about money. Where I say money, it's in different forms. It's not just the money, the cash that we know. There is more to it, right? Why the rich get richer and the poorer gets poorer and the middle class, it's there or not. There is certain things that we all need to learn in life. So I thought I would do different statements. Like I will start talking like with the not so much motivation, but those power of the words of encouragement, power to be strong. Because sometimes we all, even me, myself, you need to hear something from somebody else to kick in to go, actually, I can do this. Or actually, I can be better. Or actually, I'm looking down on myself. So we'll do that and then recognize a strong woman within our community. There's always been a woman that I've always wanted to honor. It's history now, and it's the first person that I'm going to honor with that statement, and then we'll talk about the money side of things. So we'll try that and see how it goes. So the fact that we've got Monday reset, so let's reset our minds, right? I don't know what's happening. Oof. My network is absolutely a mess. we're so left behind, where we sort of run away from the very best version of us. We run away from that. We don't know how to connect with ourselves. So us as people, we have a way of what we think of ourselves. There is a certain way of how I see myself, of how I look at myself, like every day. What am I seeing? What am I doing? Who am I? Like judging myself. And then at the same time, along the way as I'm going, or as you going, us as people in our lives, people that we know close by and people that we don't know, they put a judgment on you. They try to tell you how to live your life. Right? Because it's always easy for somebody else to step into your world, to try and step into your world and tell you what to do, how to be, how to behave, when they fail to like point the fingers back at them to see that they are not, like, really, if you're not growing, you are not up there, you're not the person that I'm looking up to want to be like, because you're just a commoner like me. Yes, you might give me good advice, but it's good, but not to criticize me, because that's the thing with people. And then for us, we are also afraid. As a person, you are afraid for growth. You are afraid to be better. You are afraid to do things just in case somebody judges you. People put a limit on you. Because I remember I was talking to one of my girlfriends a few years ago now, because I was like, I'm always trying to do things, right? Because I was doing working out, and I'm talking about, Forex, I'm talking about all of these things. And so she had a phone call, was talking to somebody, and she goes, with this friend of yours, why is she doing everything? Why can't she not just stick to one thing? Honey, your limitation, you cannot put that on me. My limitation of what I think of you, I cannot, put that on you. Because I don't know what you are capable of. You don't know what I am capable of. So I cannot sit here and be afraid because I am afraid of that thing will fail, or I'm afraid that people will say whatever about me. That is just not my problem that I will put on my plate and worry about it. No, not at all. It's not my problem at all. So you have to have a vision about yourself. You have to look at yourself and see yourself a certain way. It's not easy, especially if you have put growth on top of everything, that like you really want to grow, you want to be better than where you are now. It's going to come with a challenge, and it's going to come to test you to the core. But you have to have the belief within yourself that you are very much capable of growth. You are very much capable of being that person. But to be that person, you have to grow into that person. You have to behave a certain way. You have to do certain things. Because today, I haven't been feeling 100%. I just want to sleep, right? I said to myself, because every time when somebody says, I've got a cold, I'm like, go and run. I said, okay, I'll listen to my own advice and go and run. And where I am is so hilly. I will post it either in a reel or in my stories, guys, catch up and see. It's so steep. Oh my God, it's so hilly. So I said, right, I'm going to go. And I saw this hill and I wanted to go there, and I went and I challenged myself. But when I got back, my legs were so wobbly because my legs are like this screaming blue matter, thinking, what are you doing to us? And so I was talking to myself saying, there's always another level. There is always another level from where you are. There's always another level, because it was steepy, and then there were stairs to go up and then stairs to come back up. And I'm thinking, I gotta challenge myself with these steps. Do them more than once. So I'm thinking to myself, there's always another level, because I've been used to be running on the flat, and now it's like this and like that and like this and like that. So I'm like, there's always another level, isn't there? To growth, to where you are now, there is another level of where you can be better, right? You can be better than where you are now. You just don't have to stick and do the same things all the time. My friend here, we talk CK, we talk a lot about growth, about like encouraging each other, like do things. How can I do this? How can I do that? Asking each other advice. So, because sometimes you are so blinded that you don't see the potential that you have as a person. And when somebody else is nudging you, it wakes you up, right? It really does wake you up. But it doesn't matter how much I believe in you or you believe in me. If I don't have that belief within myself, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Yet again, I'll say that sometimes it takes somebody else's belief for you to actually wake up and say, oh, actually, I can do this. Actually, I am very much capable of doing this. So what am I waiting for? Why am I letting fear hold me back? You know? And that's always the problem, is we are afraid of ourselves. We are afraid of growth. We are afraid of being rich, right? Because most of us, we don't come from wealth. We don't know what wealth is. All we know is struggling. All we know is hustle. That's all we know. So therefore, we don't try more. We don't do more. We don't do better than what we know already. And not a single person in this world has the right to put you down. And that will only happen if you let them put you down. Because a person can say whatever to you, whatever they want. It doesn't matter. But mentally, if you are strong enough to be able to handle that, nothing will stop you. Because I used to be very sensitive. Because as much as I'm a bossy person, very sensitive. Anything, you should just trigger me. So I had to work on myself emotionally to say, like, come on, you can do better than these. Any little something somebody says about you, it's not true. You know that you know that person. So why are you letting it get to you? Why are you letting the words of somebody else have the power over your own words? See, because the mind then, it goes on, oh, how could you say that about me? It just runs and runs and runs, and like to the point you're driving yourself mad. And because I'm quite a confronting person, the next thing you know, I'm calling the person, telling them my peace of mind. I give them my peace of mind. And that's not always a good thing, right? So I had to learn to control myself, like I am in charge. I've got the power. And I know that I've got the power. So I had to learn to be in myself, to be in my power, to understand myself emotionally, to like let go of certain things. Like it's not necessary, it's not important, it's not like tomorrow will come. Is this going to matter? No. So I had to just sort of learn how to be, and I want you, if you are that kind of person, you sit in your emotions, get rid of them. Get rid of them, and then get rid of fear of how people will look at you. Encourage yourself to have the belief like in yourself to do certain things, to be a certain somebody, because it takes a lot of work for somebody to change. It really does. It really does take a lot of work for you to change, for you to become a whole different version of yourself. Because we all have different versions. Because at every level of where you're going and when you're growing, there's a new devil. Something else will come and test you. Like, so since last year, April, I joined this spiritual group where I am working on myself spiritually. And boy, am I being tested? Yes, because I have to understand myself like emotionally in the spiritual side of things. I need to learn how to understand myself. I need to be that person, to live in that. And I still don't know how to, because at times I've been like, oh God, do I really want to do this? But then, and then something happens, and then I've been like this, like that. But lately I've been understanding my own power. Like if I know myself spiritually, it's like I'm much even more calmer, because I'm always on about saying meditate. It keeps you calmer. Now when I'm working on myself spiritually, I'm even better. Like I'm much better. So I understand myself a little bit more, and I want you guys seek some, especially if you want growth in yourself. If you're comfortable, you're happy where you are, there is no need. But if you feel deep down within yourself, you've got more than what you're giving yourself. You got to change yourself within emotionally. You got to change yourself spiritually. You got to change everything to be this version. Because that person that you are now can't go to the next level. As I said, at every level, there's a new level. So you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to be a whole different person. Okay? So you have the power, and only you can decide what is good for you and what is not good for you. Yes, people will give you advice, good and bad. Take it, use it, don't use it. But at the end of the day, it's all up to you to decide what the power that you have within yourself, what to do and how to do and who to be. You have that power. But we don't understand that kind of thing, the power that we have. Like even the superheroes, the people that we follow, they had to go through some pitfalls, falling, like learning to be these strong characters of people that we admire to this day. Like some people died years ago, but we follow them, we like so sort of almost true to the words, their words of what they said and what they did. Read their books. It takes courage. It takes courage to change, and it's not easy. It's never easy for anybody. When you're seeing somebody shining and beaming, it's oh, I want to be like that. Yes, it's easy for you to say that, but are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to do the work that they are putting in to be like that? It's hard work. I know. I need to level up from where I am. I need to level up. Me even sitting here, it took me a lot of courage because I joined this London Reel. We had to do live, and I'm like, how do I even do that? I don't know. But because it was a challenge and we were being held accountable, we had to do it. And I did it. And here I am. I am so comfortable sitting here. But then, before I come, my mind tries to talk me out of it. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, no, you're tired. Oh, no, you've got a cold. My mind, oh, God, just shut up, mind. Please, I don't have time for your rubbish. And it's full of excuses. You can't do this, you can't do that. Just ignore it and just get on and do it anyway. Now, put your mind and people. Your mind and people telling you that you're not good enough and telling you can't do that. Who do you think you are? And then your own mind. If you've got two things attacking you, you won't do anything. You will stop. Like, just keep still. So I'll say, you have to carry on. Take that first step to the journey of challenges, possibilities, and glories. It's all up to you. You have the power, right? You have the power. So now I want us to shift to another statement. Remember, welcome for you guys who've just joined me. I wanted, I'm trying something new, right? Just so we work on different things. Instead of me just talking about empowerment or just talking about money. Yes, I want to. I love that. But I thought, let me just try and you guys tell me what you think of it. There's this woman that I've always wanted to honor. I don't know much about her, but I know a little bit. She was a woman of honor. Her name is Kakurukade Mungunda. And Kakurukade Mungunda. And back in the days, she did amazing things to stand up to what we know of who we are today. Especially if you're from Namibia and Herero, you will know the name. It should be familiar to you guys. We're not being taught much about it, but she was one of the brave women that led to stand up, to fight for the freedom of how we live. Because the people in Katutura, people left in a certain area and they were being moved. So that's why it's called Katutura, because people didn't want to go there and live there because it was unbearable, right? And she went out, fought for freedom. And to me, I'm like, wow, you are a strong woman. Now, so something happened on December the 10th. So that's the day, I think we call it Freedom Day or some Labor Day or something. But she was shot on that day. Because now it's conspiracy. I don't know whether that's true or not, but apparently whether she set a fire to a car of one of the head police people and put it on fire, and either she was shot while she was doing that or soon after. Now, because she was very, very, very angry because her son got killed before that. So she was outraged. She was a mother filled with rage. She was angry with everything else, and then her son to be killed in that manner, she didn't like that. So she went out and put this car on fire. That's one side of the story. But the other side of the story is that it's just like she was fighting freedom, calling out, let us free. And her mother was a niece of Hosea Kutako. Chief Hosea Kutako, should I say. Her mother was. So she's a big figure. She's just not Kakuruga de Mungula. She's a big figure within our community. She's a pillar within the community. She's one of those people that we should all, especially our tribe, we should be proud of, somebody that we need to dig into. I think I need to do more of my history, like dig into her, know a little bit about her. Because I'm just amazed. I've got some of her pictures on my computer. Like, she just amazed me. Beautiful young girl, but she had the courage. That's what I'm talking about. You have to have the belief and the courage. She had the courage to go out and did what she did for us to have the freedom that we today take for granted. And she had the courage to stand up against apartheid, to stand up against the white people that were just making a mess of everything. She had the courage. It was her and a whole lot of other people, but she was a name that stood out. She was more of the figure, the driving figure, going out there doing the things. And I'm like, I've always admired her. And I've always wanted to honor her because I think she is an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. So go do your research, get to know her, understand how you are here. It's because it's on the backs of giants, of certain people like that, women, men who went out and fought for our freedom. So remember that name, Kakuruga de Mungunda. For the younger people, I'm pretty sure, because it's not a name that you hear, it's not something that it's put out there, but she was one of those people that really, really made it happen for us. So we should be grateful, and I salute her big time, big time. I listen to her sometimes on stuff on YouTube. I was like, yeah, you did it, girl. Like, really, really did it. And for me, now, because I'm biased, I'm a woman, I'm always looking up to women who did like the most, people who are not so recognized. But having said that, she was among 9 people who were honored. Heroes Acres in Namibia, in Windhoek. She has something there, and it's one of the things that I want, like gravestone or a grave or whatever. I want to go and see, because she really, really encourages me. She really gives me a bit of a spring of a step, like a spring in my step, saying, wow, yeah, I'm thankful to you, girl. Thank you very much. And looking at her pictures, she was quite young, I think. She wasn't an old person. So because of our traditional gear that we wear, but how people used to wear it back in the days is so different. But she looked very, very young. She must have died very, very young. And that's a woman we're honoring today. A woman who stood up against people who were doing us wrong. And she stood firm, and she went out and did what she had to do for us to have the freedom. So please, please be grateful and be thankful to such a wonderful character of a woman. So on that note, we will move on to the next segment, which is we're going to talk about money. Now, the money side of things that I wanted to talk about today is CPI. I'm sure I've spoken about it before. CPI. What does that mean? And why is it important, especially if you're a forex trader or just a person in general? What is CPI and why is it important to all of us? As at the beginning, I said we all need to understand money, but we run away from such. It's beyond me why, but we run away from such. We don't want to know. We are afraid. To me, I find it sometimes like we are afraid because of the language, how it sounds so complicated, so difficult that you just don't know where to start. You don't know how to behave. You don't know where to look. So CPI, it's Consumer Price Index. And with these, they collect data of the things that you and I we're buying. They collect that. So that goes down to food, gas, the household stuff that you have within that are changing. They collect it. They collect the data and see, okay, this is the amount of stuff that people are spending in the economy. People have spent so much. They've spent quite a lot, or they haven't spent when they say, oh, the retail shops are suffering, it's through CPI because people are not buying enough or people are overspending. And so therefore, the Feds or the Central Bank or the Bank of England, they are the people that kind of control that. Because for most of us, when you came in the UK back in the days, work was everywhere. Okay, maybe the population wasn't as big, but work was everywhere. Now, you can barely find a job. All of these things are controlled. And it's all to do with money. It's all to do with economy. It's all to do with how things need to fall for them to balance out. These people are balancing books. So certain things has to happen for us to be here or to be down here. It's controlled through CPI. Yeah. I'm reading my notes, guys. I just don't want to go and give you false information. So if CPI goes up, it means inflation is rising. Things are getting more expensive. So inflation is like tax that they put onto things that you're buying. So they just raise it up without really telling you, asking you. So just things get more expensive now. Like now, we cannot afford. When you go and buy a loaf of bread, you're like, God, I was paying £1 for this loaf of bread. Now I'm paying £1.50. That's inflation. They've put a tax on it without you having a word or a say in it. They've put it up. Yeah. So, and then with CPI as well, what is important, especially if you want to buy a house or you want to go buy a car on finance or whatever, all of those things are affected, right? So you need to understand when is it cheaper for you to go and borrow money? When is it expensive not to go and borrow money? So, because what do I mean by cheap and expensive? Like the rate. Because when you're paying money back, let's say you went to the bank and you want to borrow or take a loan of 10,000, they put money on top, right? So so you pay these over a certain period of time, like let's say over 4 years, but you pay us back a certain amount, which is let's say maybe £12,000 instead of 10, so it's going to be 12, right? So that's the interest rate that they've put on top of the 10, so you give them 2,000 extra, so they make that. So if money is cheap, probably it will be 10,000, 1,000, for example, instead of 2. Right? So if you want to buy something big, especially, you gotta learn and know these things. So where do you go and find this? There is all sorts of factories, websites. I say, because there is the thing that I want to tell you guys. It's called Forex Factory. That's why I said that. There's all sorts of websites that you can find information. There is my FX books. It gives you information about when the CPI is coming out, when are they going to talk about it, when the number is coming out. Forex Factory, it's another one that I use that quite a lot to see what's the number up, what's the number down, is that good, is that bad. And the central bank, the Feds in America, Bank of England here, they control that. As I said, they put those numbers out, and people who trade forex, people who trade stocks, they look at these things and they make some sort of decision through that. So okay, if it's going down, so probably the market will go down, so I need to sell instead of buying. Right? You are aware of it. You know that something has happened and you gotta trade a certain way. So for you will have to know what you want to do with your money, because the number in CPI has come out, and I was thinking of going to buy a house. Is that a good thing? Are they cutting interest? Are they adding interest, putting interest up? So you make decisions from such things. So it's important, because in Forex, we buy, we sell, we buy, we sell. So it's important to know that. So I thought I have to tell you guys this. It doesn't matter where you're trying to buy a house, any part of the world. It doesn't matter. CPI, it's CPI, right? But because the Namibian dollar is not being traded, we don't see the importance of it. We don't understand. We don't even see the need of knowing such things. All we know is if you made your mind up, you want to go buy a house, you go and buy a house. End of story. It doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter what's happening, but because we are so ill-educated, we don't make right decisions. Because I remember my little sister, when she bought a house, I'm like, you could have waited. Why didn't you ask me? Because things are so expensive now. You could have waited just a little bit. Look at it now. It's cheaper. I said, oh, well, I've signed the contracts already. I said, oh, you should have spoken to me before you even do anything. But it was too late. So she had to take in a bit more expensive house loan. Yeah. So it's important. It's so important for all of us to do these things. Now, you might think to yourself that, but why do I need to care that? I don't want to buy a house. I can't afford to buy a house. Of course you can. Of course you can. Remember, believing that you can. And again, because you got to get the timing right. And how I look at it now, if you don't sort of do the work now to buy those big stuff, you won't be able to in the future. You won't be able to in the future at all, because they are putting prices up, and up, and up. And this is all over the world. People can't afford to buy houses. People can't afford to leave, let alone buying a house. We cannot afford to leave. But when you know these little nuggets, like with the CPI and stuff, mentally, some choices, you get to do them a little bit better, because it's a language of money. It's a language of understanding how money works and who are the people that are deciding, talking about money, what we should do with our money, and what are they talking about. If they say this, what does that mean? So important, you guys. So important. Because what CPI does, it affects the currency, right? Your money. When we're seeing the pound is gone up, we all want to send money back home. It's to do with CPI, right? What the data is saying. When the money, the pound is dropping or the US dollar is dropping, it's to do with CPI. what the numbers are saying. It's all in the data. What are the numbers saying? What is happening? What are we doing? What are we not doing? Right? So it's important. And like, okay, sometimes I say, okay, I'm gonna send money home. So that's a simple thing that we almost all of us on this call do, like almost a weekly, daily, monthly thing that we tend to do. And if you get it right, because CPI, it happens over a certain period of time, like I think 16 days after month end, they put in the CPI. And you can wait, maybe, if you can. If you can't, then that's fine. But if you can, you can wait, because they just released it last week, and the number, it was good. It was good. So mainly one of the things that we focus on as well, it's the US dollar, because it's the currency that moves everything. But within the UK, the CPI was not bad. But we tend to do it after the US. Welcome everybody. Welcome. We're talking about CPI, which is Consumers Price Index. It's all the goods that you are buying. They are being put in one basket and they are calculated for them to assess the economy, where it's going, what is happening, what it's doing. Should we put the interest up for these people to spend more of their money that they don't have already? Or should we put it down a little bit to make it easy-ish for them? What are we doing, right? So that's why CPI is important. I thought I would just fill you in for you guys who've just joined us. But get to know your numbers, get to learn the language of Forex is so important. Of course, when the CPI is up, that strengthens the currency. As I said, for us, for people who want to send money home, so okay, the thing is good. So CPI is good, everything is good. We can, it's good for the currency. We can send money and make more money on the other side. So it's so, that's just a normal example for us to understand for what we do on a daily basis. But there is so much more in this, that things that goes in this basket. Some stuff are being kept out because they don't fit into that certain basket. But all in all, it's what you are buying on a daily basis. So that's why you have to, where we are now, guys, we have to learn the language of money. We just have to. It's so important for all of us. We just have to. We don't have a choice. For us to build the wealth that we want, to build the life that we want, we have to understand money. And I'll keep hammering on that. We have to understand money. We have to understand how it works. What are we doing? Who's doing what? Who's saying what? Right? It's so important. Like with what's happening in America now. Okay, the dollar's been going up. The dollar's been doing brilliant. But the pound, on the other hand, it's been rubbish. Absolute rubbish. God, we've been hammered. Because people are doing certain things. People are saying certain things. So the market reacts according to what is happening. Right? But when Donald came along, I thought it was going to be very, very volatile. But it wasn't as volatile as I thought. But the dollar, it's been going up. And the pound, it's been falling like mad. But it's sort of picking itself up a little bit. Because what happened, I think it was in 2002, September the 1st. It's not going to happen again. Because it really, 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 really went low. Like really low. They had to put more money in the economy to juice it up, like to push it up so it goes up. And again, it's that money that they print money, and we take the fall for it because we don't understand, because we are ignorant to the subject of money. We can't print money, right? If we do, you and I will go to jail. But if you get yourself in a better position to understand how these things work, you just make that extra little better decision with your money. So it's important for us to educate ourselves educate ourselves. So the word of the week this week was CPI, 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 Consumer Price Index. Learn the language of money and you will become better. It's going to be hard to start with, but you will become better because you are doing the necessary work, and you're just not doing it for you. You're doing it for your other half. You're doing it for you, especially your kids, because we gotta make sure that they're right. But because of how we live, they will even fall in a deeper hole than we are now, because things are getting more expensive, things are getting more challenging, like in 2030. So they've been screaming and shouting on top of the building saying, you won't own nothing and you'll be happy. Now, whether that's going to be the case or not, like you won't even be able to own your own laptop. You have to sort of hire it for free, for cheap. Like, look, we've got Netflix. We don't own DVDs anymore. It's so important to have like the things, tangible things that you're holding in your hands, that everything is made digital. It's easy. We're losing value. It might be easy. It might be a now kind of thing, but we're losing value on how we live. We're losing value. So our kids, if we don't get them right now, they won't have anything to fall back on. And it's going to be our fault because we didn't take up the challenge on ourselves to educate them. It's going to be on you and it's going to be on me. So what is it? It's up to you. Think about that. Go and do the homework today. Go and Google CPI. All right? Go and Google CPI and find it and read more into it and understand it a little bit better. Right? If you have to, take notes. Be a note taker. Be a note taker. Educate yourself. You know, having fun, it's a good thing, but there is a limit to it, especially when we are broke as we are, most of us. It's just a mindset that we need to change for things to change. Change your mindset to say, okay, I'm going to commit to myself. I'm going to put a little bit of more belief behind myself to do the things that are important. That's all we need to do. It's up to you, it's up to me. We have to look after the kids because that's what we claim, right? I'm doing it for my kids. But yet we are failing them because we are not educating ourselves to teach them what money is and how it works. So go and find CPI. That's your homework. Consumer Price Index. Find out how it works and what and how you can use it for it to change your thinking. Like how you will start learning about money and moving your money around. Because all we do is to work, pay bills, feed ourselves, work, pay bills, feed ourselves, work, pay bills, feed ourselves. Like we are tunneled like this. And that's all programmed. That's how they want us to be. But we don't have to be. We don't have to be like that. Right? We are capable of more. So guys, I'll go and heal myself. I'll say, go and find your purpose and never ever chase money. Because when you're chasing, you're always chasing and you will never find the thing that you want, which is the money, right? You will never find it. You will forever chase it because you are not educated enough to know what money is. So go and find your purpose and never chase that paper. Never chase the green paper. Never ever. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you. I appreciate you all for turning up and let's educate ourselves. Let's learn. Spread the word. If you guys want to know a little bit more, check me out on YouTube. Please, for those who are on Facebook and Instagram, check me out on YouTube. Some of you guys are very late. Sorry, I am going now. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Okay, catch me up. I'm always on social media screaming, we got to learn about this money. Chase purpose and never the money. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye. Ooh.